Everyone knows that feeling, wanting to experience more stories, but struggling to find the time. That's where Audible changes everything. With over 1 million audiobooks and Audible originals, there's a story waiting to spark anyone's imagination. Take The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, the gripping psychological thriller that's keeping listeners on the edge of their seats. Imagine unraveling its mysteries during your morning commute, or losing yourself in its twists and turns while doing household chores. That's the magic of Audible. It transforms daily routines into opportunities for thrilling discoveries. The best part? Members get access to thousands of included titles, with new content added regularly. From bestsellers to hidden gems, every genre imaginable is at their fingertips. And with one easy-to-use app, switching between favorites or discovering new passions has never been simpler. There's more to imagine when you listen. Start a free 30-day Audible trial and get your first audiobook free at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Hello. Hi, Lee.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Welcome to another episode of Queer Gals Watch.
Yes, we're here again, myself and the lovely Lee, for another... We're really indulging ourselves at this point.
We're really, I don't know that anyone who listens to Queer Gals Watch The West Wing ever wanted to watch any of these films, but we're going to make you.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
They came for The West Wing and we were like, maybe not this time.
They came for The West Wing and we were like, we're going to give you trash. But ultimately, I think sometimes what we might need in this economy, in this political moment, is terrible cinema.
Yes, it's important to know that things can and will get better.
Yeah.
Than this. Specifically, our latest trip to the movies this week.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be pulling apart a transatlantic love story that I don't have the words to describe, but we'll try.
The Ross and Emily of our time, if you will.
It was made in 2023, which is not long enough ago for it to be this bad. But what's more important while we discuss this truly important and groundbreaking piece of cinema is that we have a gorgeous, gorgeous guest with us this week.
Yes, and I couldn't think of a better person to discuss this film with. Please, welcome. I'm doing this like it's a stand-up announcement. But please welcome to the pod comedienne extraordinaire. You may know her from Twink News. It is Ciara O'Connor with us today.
Oh, gorgeous. Thank you so much for having me, Divas.
I'm so pleased to see you. Honestly, when I thought about kind of like Twinkie YA, I was like, I know the woman that we need.
Yeah, you said you were sort of matching the films to the guests. And I was like,
that?
Yeah, she was like, she knows that I have a copy of every single volume of Heartstopper. And she went, this girl has no taste. We'll get to watch something that's even worse. And that's okay.
Hey, we're here to have a good time. Fee, do you want to take us into what the internet told us the synopsis of this film was?
Yes. So this week we are discussing, and I will trip over this every time I say it, Red, White and Royal Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Truly a mouthful. It came out in 2023 and the internet describes this film as Alex Claremont Diaz, the first son of the United States, and young Prince Henry fall in love. However, considering their high-profile public lives, they must keep their relationship a secret at all costs. And that's, I would say, maximum 20 minutes of content that synopsis provides. And yet this film does indeed drag on for 2 hours.
2 hours that it had no business dragging on for. Like, the whole film could have happened in 20 minutes. Like, there wasn't really that many plot points. Sorry, I'm like straight out the gate. I hated this film.
Yeah.
And I will say that another 50 times in this episode, right? There was so little that happened. And also, you saw the premise at the start, and genuinely, all three of us could have said, and well, you guys obviously have got more of like a stagey, filmy background than me. But as someone who doesn't have that background, genuinely, if you would give me the first 2 minutes, I could have told you everything that was going to happen in that film, like straight away. It should not have been 2 hours. There was no, like, what took up the 2 hours? That's what gets me.
There are so many in our shared doc. There are so many just me in all caps being like, why won't this film end? Me being like, there's 25 minutes left. What else can happen? Turns out nothing. Not even good
Turns out-
dialogue.
Turns out very little, yes. I will say I absolutely loved in the kind of like opening sequence of this film that we kind of just had like two boys trying to out Mr. Darcy each other.
Mm. Mm. and that's where I saw that you'd made that note, and I started watching it, and I was like, oh my God, is this going to be like Queer Austin, but like in a kind of
It wasn't.
and then but maybe 2 or 3 minutes later I was like, oh no, we've just firmly we started at the top of the hill, just rolling down for the rest of the 2 hours that followed.
Besides Clara Lara, the only theme park Ireland has is based off of our national brand of crisps, of chips. And that's all you need to know about Ireland as a nation, really.
Yeah, and it's not really adult friendly. I was probably like a teenager. I went when I was a teenager, and I feel like in the UK, like those sort of like theme parks, like adults could go and enjoy them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I went with my baby cousins, and like fully, it was for the toddlers. Like you couldn't enjoy Tato Park as an adult. Like
It wasn't, there wasn't like the kind of the grown-up rides.
It wasn't giving
Yeah.
like coaster.
No,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't giving like let's go to Florida and like let's go like, you know, the people in America majority of the time who like travel around different like theme parks. That's their life.
Yes, and they like know the velocity of the different ones and all of that kind of vibe.
Look, neurodivergence takes many forms.
Honestly, send them to the Priory. It's giving special interest.
I think it's important for us to know that the tagline of this film was "Love who you want. It's good foreign policy."
Oh God.
And I think someone truly in the office was like, "I've got it."
Someone
And then took the
pour
rest of the
me
day
a
off.
whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the idea. Yeah, it was an interesting one. Like the whole thing of like the political ramifications. Not to jump ahead too much, but like towards the end, there was this scene where I can't remember what it was, but they were just making such a big deal out of like, oh, if Alex comes out, this will like ruin the royal. Not Alex. If what's the other one? called?
Henry.
If Henry comes out, this is gonna like ruin the royal family. I was like, do you know what's like the only thing that could save the royal family right now?
A gay
One of them
romance.
being a bender. Like
Yeah,
that would
truly.
save them press wise.
Truly.
Like
Truly.
when we're talking about bad press for the royal family, I think we need to be really careful because
They've had a rocky few years.
it's not like everything's been seamless up until now. Okay. I feel like I would normally ask why you think this film is important, but I think the answer we all have is that it's not.
Yeah, I did write something for this. Oh, you might have heard gay people say that they wanted representation growing up and how meaningful it would have been to see themselves on screen. And this doesn't do that. But it's nice to know what it would have been like had they done that for women instead. Like, I mean, my synopsis of the film was Heartstopper if it was written by a straight yank who'd never met a gay person in her life. Obviously, I didn't know they were non-binary.
I do feel like none of the people in this film are real.
No, it was so unserious. It was giving, can I say, dare I lead with my main like summary of the film?
You dare.
Yeah.
Them being 34 makes complete sense to me because every aspect of this film felt like a Wattpad fan fiction. Do you know what I mean? Like it was giving fan fiction. Like it was giving very, like the whole like, oh, we've been locked in a closet. Oh, we're enemies to lovers. All of that, like everything about it was giving a 13-year-old wrote this after school and posted it on the internet. And people were like, yeah, it's good. And then like I remember after that was like, they made that into like, it's like a Harry Styles fan fiction. And then they made it into like a Netflix series.
Yeah.
I think this is like, I will be so shocked if we find out that this wasn't originally like
Some
on
kind of
Wattpad
fan
or
fiction.
Tumblr or something
Yeah.
like that.
It does feel like something someone did on their home computer that's just got wildly out of hand.
You've nailed that, Ciara. It is Tumblr energy.
Yeah.
1000%. Was there anything better? Was there anything better in like the year of our Lord, like 2010, 2011, than finding the Tumblr of someone you knew that they thought was anonymous? It was the glory days.
Greater thrill in life than to be like on MSN Messenger and messaging one of your friends from school and being like, I've just found so-and-so's Tumblr. And then dissecting it.
She's
post by
just put a blog post up about the loss of her virginity. Ladies, strap in.
Yeah, it really was the Wild West, wasn't it? I had a Pretty Little Liars Tumblr. I think there's a lot to be said for like bad media Tumblr. I think we need more of that. Bring it back.
It
Bring
kept us
back.
honest. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? I think, not to sound like the Irish drunk auntie that I was born to be, but I think the young people are rediscovering Tumblr in a kind of like Y2K vintage realness kind of way right now. And I love that journey for them.
They're like, oh my God, blogging. It's
Yeah.
like crazy.
yeah.
As someone who works with the Gen Z people,
Mm-hmm.
the Gen Z people, apologies. I learn so much every day about how embarrassed I should feel about everything that I do and every thought I have in my head.
But I think it's like millennials are cringe in a way that's like fun. Because like even now we can acknowledge it's like, oh, it's better to be cringe than be whatever. And I say this as like Gen Z curse, like than whatever like Gen Z and Gen Alpha are doing. Like with this weird, like some of them are really woke, but a lot of them are like really right wing and stuff like that. And it's like, actually, yeah, we had a really tacky wedding. Oops. Oh, we all worked at BuzzFeed. Oops. Like it's cringe, but it's also like there was a hope.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I'd rather like make an Instagram post that's like, I did a thing rather than like preach hate speech. Do you know what I mean?
Very
Yeah,
nice,
So
very
like
nice.
there's balance for sure. But to return to Red, White, and Royal
Do we
Blue.
have to? Should we discuss our two leading men?
Yes.
Let's start there.
Yes.
So we've got Alex and we have Prince Henry.
Prince Henry.
Now, what I will do is just say, in terms of like acting quality, and there wasn't a huge amount across the board that was good. I will say that Henry did a fine job. There was some scenes where I was like, you are doing the best that you can with what you've been given. You know?
Yeah, it came to me because I saw you say that in the Google Doc, and I think in my head I hated it, but it's like actually it was just a badly written character, and I think I need to rewatch it and be like, was he doing a good job with a bad character? Because maybe he was.
Yeah.
I loved the karaoke moment from him.
That was wild for me. I really hated that. I really hated that.
No one ever falls in love watching someone else do karaoke.
That's
like the
so
way that was
true.
him being like, Alex was like, wow. I'm like, Mama, he's singing Queen in a gay bar. It's not that deep.
Also, don't tell me that you went for a night out and you drank only tequila shots and no one had an argument.
Dead ass. Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's very true. I do love that we weren't even trying to be creative with the royal names. We had Prince Harry and Princess Beatrice.
Yeah. And then what was the older brother called? I forget, but he was
it
hateful.
Alfred or something?
It was
wild?
something awful.
They also did a true disservice to that young man with the hair they gave him for his royal wedding day.
Also, so we open on a royal wedding.
Yes.
Which was really weird because like much of it I think was hosted in a marquee, which I don't think is correct. And also the wedding dress was off the rack, let's say.
Yeah.
Well, listen, they were working with a Tumblr budget. to
Yeah.
put this film together.
I do love the justice for Princess Beatrice, though, that she's like hot and young and fun and an ally, because that Princess Beatrice,
Real life Princess
God
Beatrice.
love her, God bless her. She's been absolutely been through it with the British press, and so I love that she was given some representation in this film.
That there was some reclaiming of the name.
Yeah.
Did you notice that on-screen Beatrice was the beginning? It's talking about how fit Alex is. And I'm like, I think as a society, we've moved past that too quickly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let's circle back.
She was there like, I want to fuck him. She didn't use those words. Can I say fuck on the podcast?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good, because I'm about to tell you that I want to fuck Alex too. But she was there basically like, yeah, I want to fuck Alex. And Henry was like, oh, he's gross. And then Henry like falls in love with Alex. And I'm like, I don't think I could fall in love with someone if my sister had
I've
been
been
like,
I
would.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is really funny to be like, did you like him? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
kind of with him now.
If the royal family are the Beatles, this woman's Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
Alex is Yoko Ono. He is here to tear them apart. He's gonna all of them.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a moment with Stephen Fry and then we will tear each other apart.
100p.
Wow.
So I thought that Henry, the actor, did as good a job as he could do.
Mm.
The character was so fucking wet.
Mm.
I wanted to scream. There was a lot of kind of like moping around. It wasn't great. I didn't think their chemistry was very good.
No.
I don't think they were well cast as like a chemistry duo. I also thought the intimacy coordination, like the direction of any of the kind of like intimate content was truly awful.
Itching to speak about the intimate scene.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I am itching. I'm sorry. We will get to it, but I have been dying to speak to you both about that intimate
Excellent,
scene.
great, stunning.
I have so much to say. I will say I really knew where this film was going to land from the line from, what's the name of the vice president's granddaughter who's like bestie?
Nora.
Alex's- Yes.
Why?
Nora or Mora?
Do you know what? It really doesn't matter, does it?
I was when she came in with the classic line, "Okay, you've been yucking my yum all day. What's going on with you?" I was like, "Okay, I know exactly where we
What
are.
I'm watching.
I know exactly what I'm watching. I know.
I mean,
further
I will
questions.
now be using the phrase yucking my yum because it does turn my stomach in a way I didn't imagine anything would.
I think the dialogue, particularly from the girlies, but also from the two, I guess, protagonists as well. It was just very. I feel like that's a compliment to call them protagonists. They weren't. I feel like so much of it, and again, it goes back to this fan fiction thing of it was like someone sat there and wrote, "This is so witty. This is so funny. People are gonna love this. They're so sassy." Like the amount of dialogue that you're like, if anyone said this in real life, you turn around and be like, "You're such a virgin. Why did you say that?"
It was giving like, this is what I wish I'd said out loud.
Yeah.
But then it's really good that you didn't actually ever say it out loud.
Yeah.
I also
100.
love that so much of it is like, I feel like I've just spilled coffee on my hand.
You've done really good so far
thank
because you
you.
are unable to drink beverages.
I am gesticulating, but what I will say is it is so clearly, to your point, Ciara, an American imagining how British people speak. For example, you know what is obscene is how attractive the president's son is. You know, it's like, wow. I love that is Britain in the hearts and minds of Americans.
Yeah. Do you think the royal family talk like that? Like, I know I don't, but like, I appreciate I'm probably not representative of like how the elite speak, but like, do they talk like that? Because the
Does
whole time I was
anyone?
thinking, no one speaks this way.
No,
Surely,
it
to your
felt
point.
quite AI to me, but I also
This film was written by AI.
Yeah.
I would genuinely so believe if you had said, actually, Casey's a front, it was written by a computer. I'd be like, I believe it.
yeah. I actually think I'd like it more. That's a horrible thing to say, but true. Let's talk a little bit about Alex.
Yes.
So we haven't really said anything about Henry because he has no character traits. He's just a prince and he's kind of sad about being a prince.
Mm.
And like his life's quite hard, is it?
It's kind of like if you'd taken the heart and spirit of Prince Harry's memoir and distilled it
Oh my God, what was his memoir
into
called?
a YA character.
Mm.
What
The
was it?
Spare.
He gagged the girls with that. You can't take that away from him.
No. Good for you.
Good for you, sweetie.
So that's kind of all Prince Henry is.
Mhm.
And then Alex, on the other hand, truly atrocious acting through this from this young actor. Really awful. But he's like, I am an American, and that's my main character aspect, is that I'm a loud American man. I also am just like an absolutely kick-ass political operative at age 21. And in fact, I will win the presidency for my mum with my political strategy.
Yeah, I'm like, it feels like there's some kind of conflict of interest of him being like an actual member of her paid campaign staff.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a wild concept.
Well, what age are these boys as well? Because
They're at college.
It took
Yeah.
me ages to work out how old
But also,
they
they're
were.
both in their 30s as
Yeah,
actors.
because
so-
they were drinking in
Yeah.
America
Yeah.
at the New Year's party, and I feel like, okay, yeah, like they might drink, but given it was thrown by the family, like
Yeah.
the president like isn't going to let her
Mhm.
kid throw an underage drinking party.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
they must be 21. But they were like the way they flirted. I'm like, well, firstly, like gay men don't talk like that, Casey. Sorry, but like if gay men did flirt like that, it would be when they're like 16. Like it was 16-year-old level flirting, especially the texts and stuff like that, which we'll talk more about in a bit. All of the texting that took place in this film, it was like, yeah, I guess I did flirt with people like that when I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
By 18, I was sort of growing out of it. And I'm
Yeah.
quite childish. I just don't believe that there's people there in their early 20s that are speaking the way that these two are.
I think let's move naturally segued onto the texting and what I perceive to be when they talk about the letters. I'm assuming they mean emails.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for me, if you're texting someone like a 16-year-old for, I think they're like, oh, it's been like 6 months, and you don't know that you want to fuck them,
And you've
what's happening?
You've not like had a conversation about the other person's sexuality at any point.
If you are lying in bed at like 2 a.m. and you're on the phone to someone and it's not like one of your best friends and you're like chatting shit or coaching them through a crisis, it's because you are actively trying to sleep with that person.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt tonally, it seemed as though like they both, like I didn't really get like enemies to friends to lovers. It went enemies to like as soon as they were as soon as they were locked in a room together, like in a little storage cupboard, it felt like the vibe shifted from enemies to romantic straight away. And like the texting to me was always giving romantic.
So then,
and also there was something about like later in the film, I can't remember the exact line, but Henry said something that implied like he always fancied Alex. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, because if you always fancied him, why were you like, okay, I get sometimes you feel awkward with people you fancy, but he was so boldly rude to Alex at the start. And I'm like, if you fancied him, you might be like, oh, I find him intimidating. What do I do? But Henry's character doesn't seem like someone who would be rude to someone he fancies. For everything else
it's almost as if that's a huge plot hole.
Yeah,
in this story, because they meet at some sort of climate conference. Why both of them are there as children, basically.
And given all the flights they get in the film as well, they're like, oh,
willy-nilly flying transatlantic.
It's like, honestly, Taylor Swift looks like a climate warrior compared to these boys.
The taxpayer dollar that went into flying Alex back and forth across
Air Force
the Atlantic.
One going up and down and across the ocean, like on a weekly basis. That's international scandal levels of flying.
Swear down, right? Henry texts Alex, you up? And then Alex was like, Air Force One, let's go. And like, get the jet.
And then when they do see each other, then they're just sort of like lying next to each other and being like, I just feel like I can be myself with you. It's like, but if you're going to get the plane, do something.
Dare I say, the film would make a lot more sense if they were lesbians.
100.
It's
because the girlies, my people, I love you, but the girlies, we can be deeply in love and yet not feel confident enough. We can be like in a 3-year relationship and still be like, I just don't know if I should make the first move. Like it's much more of a lesbian girly vibe.
Yeah. Yes. And a lot of sort of like longing looks, and like a longing look and then a
I think or
drier than the Sahara me throughout this whole film. Like literally not a like.
I'm gonna rock the boat.
Rock away.
Lee knows me enough to know this. I'd fuck Alex. I wouldn't like. I'd wait till marriage, but like if I was fucking, I'd fuck Alex. Like Alex was so hot to me, and was he acting bad? Probably. One thing I noticed was, do you know when you watch a film that's like not in English, or a Netflix series that's not in English, and then they dub over, and the dub, Alex's voice, watch the film back. Alex sounds like the dub of a film that's not in English. Like it's so American and so sort of rounded in how he speaks throughout. But he's just exactly my type. He's hot, first of all.
He's a bisexual.
He's bisexual. So I knew you would say that.
You know, Ciara loves a bisexual boy.
Yeah, if anyone's listening. He's like politically engaged, but still somehow a himbo, which I think is actually just because he's American. I thought he was dumb, but there was nothing in his character to suggest he is dumb. I just let my own projections out there that I was like, he's dumb.
If he just had a single earring, you would be done for.
Yeah, it'd be over. It'd be over.
Fair enough. I mean, yeah.
Did you guys not fancy Alex?
I don't find Americans attractive.
That is so brave to say on the pod.
Look, okay. No, do you know what? I do in theory, which is a lot of the people that I am attracted to. Many of them are from America, but my kind of attraction towards Americans has been ruined by American tourists and the fact that I've worked in hospitality for so long. And I like quiet. I like to sit in companionable silence with someone. Glass of wine, little cigarette. I don't need so much exclaiming. I think that's what time Alex was hot, but he was too loud for me. Henry, too quiet, kind of weird looking.
Oh, no one was watching this film going, I'd smash Henry.
I don't know. Also, like rich English people are. That's not me either. I think actually just the avenue of people I'm attracted to is so narrow.
Did you fancy anyone in the film? Either of you? No.
Kind of Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
But like also I was like, why does it feel like they've made an Uma Thurman puppet and someone's like operating her?
That character was wild. Like
She's a good actor. What on earth was happening in this?
I'm sorry, for those of you who have not actually watched the film, Uma Thurman is playing the president of the United States.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's from Texas.
And to add to that as well, when her son comes out to her, she's like, "It's okay. Are you a bottom? Sorry. Sorry. Who's coming out like that?" And then she offers to get him on prep. Who comes out to their mum and gets offered prep? Do you know that woman? Yeah. Little Miss Democrat candidate for re-election. Yeah. She heard her son was gay. She went, thank God. She said, the polls will love this.
Yeah.
She was literally straight away. She went, well, can I get you on prep, honey?
Mm-hmm.
She was like,
and
I
your
support
boyfriend
you.
is the Prince of England? Oh, I'm sorry. We've got a love story for the ages on our hands.
And she was like,
my political career is set.
Yeah.
She picks up the phone. She's like, we're going to need some pizza.
One of the best lines in the film, can I say?
And then it like cuts and it's just them on the sofa in the Oval Office with her like cradling him in her arms, just like with their like foreheads together and her talking about how she's gonna get him on prep. It is unbelievable.
And dare I say, Alex had more chemistry
with Uma.
That's exactly what I was about to say. But also, still very little chemistry. But definitely more.
You could just see the like little actor Alex being like, "Oh my God, I'm hugging Uma Thurman right now. This is crazy."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he in anything else, by the way? We've slated this actor. Is he in things?
You
hope not.
The guy who plays Henry is like actually popping off right now.
Oh, really? What's
He was
he in?
just in a TV series with Julianne Moore where it's a costume drama and I can't remember what it's called, but they're like trying to seduce one of the kings of England and she's like a noblewoman and she's like, we know that the king's like
Oh, yes.
into
yes.
guys, so like you should come and like you should be his little guy on the
Mhm.
side and it will give us power as a family. Apparently it's supposed to be really good.
It's giving
Mhm.
Game of Thrones, but I feel like if I was typecast in things that were always
Mhm.
about royal families, I would feel like the industry just called me ugly. Do you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Or like you can only play posh,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a comfy thing.
No, and his face is giving he could only play posh.
Yeah.
What I will say is before we truly dive into the intimate scene in this film, which I would like us to spend at least an hour on. This is an hour-long episode, but I have so much to say. I would just also like to give a brief moment for some of the celebrity news cameos that happened in this film. The appearance of Rachel Maddow and
Right.
Joy Reid, the original MSNBC girlies, being like, yeah, we'll show up for Twinkie YA.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're there. Yes, absolutely. I will absolutely but pretend to read news headlines about the romantic life of the first son and the Prince of England. I'm there. I loved it.
Best performance in the film, Rachel Maddow. Stand out.
Dead ass.
Yeah.
Stand out.
And
Yeah.
she was on Drag Race a few years ago. I think she's like
Mm.
doing her tour of like the gay boys are going to be obsessed with me as well.
Mhm.
She's securing all
We
the
love
letters in
her.
the community.
She's a real fave of us.
Every time that she refers to herself as a childless lesbian on national cable news,
Mhm.
a baby dyke is born.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you fancy Rachel Maddow?
Of course.
Yeah, I see that.
She's
for
like
you.
my origin story.
Yeah. It was like her and Sue Perkins for you.
Her and Sue Perkins in a massive way. Yeah, I think, it was like Poussey Washington in Orange is the New Black. And then I watched Bake Off one day and I was like, oh, it's not just Poussey.
It was Lee and I were you.
I met Sue. She was lovely. Really nice.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't met Rachel Maddow. Sorry. But I thought I'd name
Not
drop.
yet.
I met Sue. She was really sweet. Nice girl. She
This
smelled
is what we
nice.
want to hear because I would be so sad if you were like, Sue's a fucking cunt.
No, she was nice. She judged this comedy competition I did. Yeah. She was really cute. Yeah. Nice girl.
Nice girl.
Yeah, I lost, so we hate her.
She's got terrible taste, obviously. Yeah, so loved that for Rachel.
Yeah.
She did a stunning job. Hats off to her just for getting involved, a little bit of screen time. I would love to see her in something again.
I also just love that her and Joy Reid are clearly like MSNBC besties, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll both do it as gal pals. We're both there. Yeah, absolutely." The Readout and the Rachel Maddow show will both be featured in this twink film for teenage girls.
It was so fierce.
I've just seen a note that I wrote about the texting. What we haven't discussed, and this is just a brief sidebar before we get into the sex, is the use of stickers.
I have so much to say about this. I was waiting for
forgot
this.
about the stickers. Yes, please.
So, please.
So first of all, and this is how I knew exactly what genre of gay man Henry is, because I don't believe men like Alex exist in the world. I do believe men like Henry exist. So there's a certain genre in the UK of like posh white gay boy who doesn't really have queer friends that is like this, and terrible flirting and everything like that. I was like, oh, this completely stats. Like I do believe that characters like Henry exist. Maybe not the royal family. Maybe they do.
Maybe they do.
But it was the use of Bitmoji. I thought, now why is this 21-year-old using a Bitmoji? Do you know, like that's giving teenager or like 50-year-old manager who messages you inappropriately at your bar job. It was one or the other. And then, and I'm glad that one of you guys wrote in the Google Doc the same thing that I'm about to say. It was the fact that his Bitmoji had a crown. I thought, oh, behave.
I choked.
I screamed out loud. It was also the fact that the emoji was like,
Yeah.
with the crown.
Just a little tilt to the side for the audio listeners. A little tilt to the side,
Little
hand
tilt,
out,
little-
crown on. Send him to the priory.
Lock me away.
Yeah.
I feel like the only way one could respond to that sort of use of a sticker is to respond, as Alex did, with a Spy Kids sticker. Deep cut reference. And what I want to do is I want to go out and I want to buy the novel and I want to see if those details are in the novel.
Oh, they
Or
are,
if-
because it's fan fiction. This is such a Tumblr-esque detail to it that makes it has to be.
It has to be something that exists because there is no way that when you are doing the adaptation from book to screenplay that someone went, great idea. Stickers. Do you know what young people love? Stickers.
The visuals of this film are so interesting. Like within 30 seconds, I wrote, "Now the green screens are cragging me." The green screen use of this film was so bad.
Egregious.
It's the worst White House representation I've ever seen in cinema.
I know.
And we are watching some trash for these movie
Yeah.
episodes. I'm talking First Daughter with Katie Holmes and her President Father, Michael Keaton. I'm talking future episode, Chasing Liberty with Mandy Moore.
Like not good pieces of cinema, but I just felt like every time we were at the White House, they were like in fucking like lawn. They were sat on like lawn furniture from B&Q, like in front of a green screen, being
Also-
like, "Oh, the grounds are so beautiful at the White House," and you're like, "Why is it pixelated?"
I'm also like, why was Alex's bedroom in the White House set up to be like it had been interior designed by Bobby from Queer Eye? It was
Yes.
just like, it was so
The
not
paneling?
the aesthetic of
Navy paneling.
I got so confused of the fact that we were even in the White House because I was just like, this is just so not a White House aesthetic on any level.
Interesting to note that the curtains were never open in his room.
Well, do you know what? Alex is depressed because he's coming out, and we should be.
We
giving
should
him
actually
some space.
We are being really insensitive.
Yeah,
Aren't we?
Alex is going through it actually.
But then Alex does end up saying lines like this, which is, "Did your parents send you to snobbery school, or does looking down on people just come naturally to you?"
The dialogue in this film is so bad, girls. I know we keep saying it, but the dialogue, it was just so Tumblr. It was. Do you what's that girl called? Do you know the girl on TikTok who does like girl who thinks it's all going to be okay? She does the impressions of like characters in movies that are insufferable. Do you know the one I mean? I'll send you
No.
a stuff after. So she'll do like the overly independent daughter whose mum died at the start of the film. She'll be like, "Hey dad, here's your toast. No, I'll be late to school. It's fine." Do you know this
Yeah,
girl?
I do.
Leah's
I
looking
was
at me like
literally
she's nuts.
watching one of her TikToks
Yeah.
earlier today.
everything in this film felt like it was one of her skits, except this was an earnest film that was released, and it wasn't even released in the 2010s. Finding out this was released in 2023, I was like, sorry. the shifts the world's gone through, and someone was still like, yeah, no, this is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think we should touch at some point on the discussion of Henry's grief for his dead father,
Trope.
which was such a thinly veiled reference to Prince Harry and Princess Di. I almost couldn't handle it. It was like so on the nose.
Well, it's kind of like when, was that the only time we got into it was when they broke into the V&A at night and then made out. And I was like, there are security cameras here. Also, like, how do you have access? Like, this isn't real life.
Yeah, you might as well just go bowling in Nando's. Like, if you're going to be out in the open like this, like, you've already outed yourself, girls. Outing, another trope.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if we're jumping ahead or jumping behind, but you know what was the journalist called?
Miguel.
Literally the second Miguel was there, I was like, he's going to out them.
Yeah.
Like, I know this.
Immediately.
And so obvious that they fucked from the get.
Yeah.
But then, so for those who haven't seen it, Miguel is this journalist who ends up outing them. And he knows Alex because Alex is the first son, is that the term? And has like interviewed him, but has also clearly slept with him. And it was very obvious they slept together, except for when Miguel comes on, he and Alex do that like bro handshake into like a shoulder barge thing. And I was like, men that have slept together don't do that. What was this?
No. Also, I did enjoy the ongoing trope throughout the film of the power play of who switches to Spanish at what time. And neither of them ever accepting the switch to Spanish from the other. It felt like a very, I think it had been written to be like hot exes, but it was coming across more like kind of bro-y dick swinging.
Yeah. Well, the obsession with, we've not talked about the obsession with height in this film, which is how, I think that was the first thing that made me say, a gay man didn't write this. They just kept being like, well, he's not 6'2", he's not 6'2". And I mean, there are gay men that are like that, but like, what was the weird obsession with 6'2"? And then also, my NDA is bigger than yours. We're not on Tumblr. This is a film. Casey, improve the writing.
It just okay. This is great. We can pull this apart from here. He grabbed my hair in a way. Sorry, I need to do it in the accent.
Oh my God! Yes, yes.
Oh
yes,
no!
He grabbed my hair in a way that made me understand the difference between football and rugby.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What do we think it means?
That this book and this film were written by a Yank. Like, what does that? Yeah, what does it mean? It means nothing. It adds nothing to the story, other than like letting you know that the film's a bit cringe.
Being like, English sports.
Also, like, I don't understand why the difference between rugby and football would be important, because both rugby and football, and this is a hill I will die on, they are both deeply homoerotic.
Most sport is, if you look for it, which
I
often do.
Scrum? Please.
I mean, I did enjoy the polo montage with just like bouncing asses. I think that was quite fun.
Yeah, when he said we're going to the polo, and then Alex thought he was going to be forced to play polo, and then Henry was like, "We're going to watch, darling." Another thing that, this is a British gay man written by someone who's not a British gay man. Henry's overuse of darling, sweetheart, dear. Even when they didn't like each other, he was calling him sweetheart, and I was like, have you met someone? It's not even have you met a gay person. Have you met someone from the UK before?
Yeah,
I don't think they talk like this.
We're like famously like hate showing affection. So like, especially to people we don't know, especially to people who apparently we hate.
Yeah, and I think they were doing it as in like, oh, he's being like condescending or whatever. But I was like, I'm sorry, could you imagine any member of the royal family walking around and being like, oh, sweetheart, like in a sassy, and then we're meant to believe that he's still in the closet when he's like bitchily calling people sweetheart,
and that everyone is literally so gagged when he comes out. They're like, we never saw this for you. Right. Okay. Cool.
I personally loved, in the same exchange, I believe, as the football and rugby comment. It's my job to analyze data, and he has never once checked me out. And I am what some men would consider exquisite. So from where I'm sitting, Henry is, and then Alex fills in, kind of gay.
It was very she's the man type.
Yeah. It did feel just like people pretending to be people. Reread.
Oh, something we
Reread,
skipped
we're going
past.
to need pizza.
The intro credits, divas. So it's oh my gosh, this was for a brief second. I was like, oh, this is peak cinema for like 1 minute. At the start, there's this whole thing with like the wedding cake and like what actually starts this off as like they get forced to be friends because they were
cause
fighting.
an international incident to the point where it is affecting political polling.
Yeah, the prime minister's slagging the Americans off. Wild. So this £75,000 cake. Do my taxes pay for that cake? This £75,000 cake. They're like arguing, and then it falls on them both, and then it goes into I don't give a damn about my bad reputation. Oh, we're back. That was So She's the Man to me, and it goes into like an intro sort of credits, like with like animation, and I was like, oh,
I
we're
was
in
excited by
2005.
that. I was excited by that.
I thought we were going to get something good.
Yeah.
If this film had been made in the era of Bring It On
Yes.
and had been allowed to be a little bit less earnest
Yes.
and a little bit more irreverent.
Yes.
I did watch Bring It On last night. Wow, like what a piece of cinema. But besides the point, if it had been made in that era, I think we would have had a classic in our hands. But unfortunately, it's just there's a touch too much of the Heartstoppers going on.
I was just going to throw in another quote for us to wrangle with, which I think is when they've kind of made out at a party and been discovered by one of his Alex's Secret Service people. And they're like stumbling back in, and it's are you still like Stonehenge? Your royal hardness.
There was
I think I blocked that out. I think I blacked out at that point in the film.
I'll never forget those lines. Because I was like, what the fuck? What who's saying that to someone when they're like, we just almost like there's nothing sexy about the way they talk to each other.
Alex also has such like a monarchy kink. Like he stored Henry in his phone as HRH
Dickhead?
HRH Prince Dickhead. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. And then like the poo emoji. And I'm like, yeah, actually gay people would do that because I would have done that with someone when I was 16, not 21. I go back to the age thing. It was so weird. The Stonehenge line was, I would say, in the top 10 best worst lines in the film. And like it circles back to what you guys were saying a minute ago of like, this could be so iconically bad. My favorite movie, if I was to rank my top 10 movies, I'd say at least 6 or 7 of them are bad movies. But there's like two types. It's like one that is, oh, this is meant to be bad. Like it's tongue in cheek, it's wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then there's films that were like so sincere and then they're awful. But the problem with this is like, at times you're like, I think this is meant to be cringe.
Yeah.
But it's like either go all cringe or all sincere because they still did want us to cry at the end. And I was like, no, I'm not crying. This is a comedy. This is no rom or com to me.
Lee cried.
I cried, but
Yeah.
I think it caught me in a moment. Do you know what I mean? I think it was the pride flags outside of Buckingham Palace. Like it's a dark time out here right now in terms of like queer shite. I was
How
like,
did I respond?
Oh,
Yeah, no
actually-
brown and black stripes. Yikes.
yikes,
Yikes.
yikes.
Oh. Yeah.
I will say, and then I think we should just absolutely dive into the intimacy scene to make sure that we give it adequate time. But
Yes, please.
the polo scene also is the only time that bagpipes have ever been sexy in the history of
Do you
mankind.
know what? Yeah, I'll give them that. Like, it was rock and roll.
I enjoyed the rock chick bagpipes in the polo scene. But I think it is now time to
Talk about the longest blowjob ever in history.
I just wrote in my notes, oh, they're fucking in caps lock because I think what we've established so far is this is a straight person's film.
Yeah.
And then there was just 2 moments in the film where I was like, this has gone from being so sanitized and clean and like such a like gay best friendy view of what a gay person is, to then like being really human about gay people. It was like, it wasn't just like, oh, the sun goes down and they're having sex. We saw them fucking. We saw who was in who. We saw who topped and who bottomed. And I was like, I didn't see that for this film.
No, I didn't think we were going to go there. I thought it was going to be a lot of like sighing and rolling over. Do you know, like in like rom-coms of the 90s where like people just be like impeccable hair, impeccable makeup, lingerie, and just be like, wow. Like I thought that's where we were going to go. And I was like, oh no,
In
Fair
a
play.
single beat, we went from like Stanford Blatch to Russell T Davies, and I don't know that the
Yeah.
transition
Yeah.
was managed
Yeah.
adequately. Some of my favorite lines from around here is, and I thought Alex Gabriel Claremont Diaz was a mouthful.
Oh,
Yes.
that makes my top 3 worst lines. I wrote that one down as well.
Yeah.
Top 3 worst lines of the film.
I thought that was really funny because at that point I was literally delirious.
I think this is like about an hour into this very long film, and you were starting to sort of suspend any like expectations you had for it. You're like, this is bad. And so when they said something like that, you're like, fierce.
Yeah.
Because it was
clinging on to anything.
What was the line? They basically said like, oh, I thought Alex Claremont Diaz was a mouthful, like as in his name's a handful. And then for the people that haven't seen it, Henry goes, he is. Oh, the Kim Cattrall of it all. Like, what on earth are we watching?
It's so true. Henry went from like full King Charles
To
into
Samantha
Samantha
Jones.
Jones over the course of the
Yes, and the other one which was like, I went to boarding school.
No,
dear.
wait,
You're only
wait. No, I do need to give the direct quote.
Sorry.
Because this was my moment of the film. They're talking about fucking for the first time, and Alex is like embarrassed because he's not done it before.
But
And-
he has twice. This is the other thing.
He'd never fucked Miguel. They did stuff, but he never had sex with Miguel.
Because
And I think we're not counting oral.
Okay.
So I think it's like
That's very
he's never had.
heteronormative.
Yeah, he's never.
So
yeah.
heteronormative.
Oh, but who wrote this film? I found it weird because there was something in like the whole tone of it was like Alex is like, I've never been with a boy before, but it was like, but we've been told that Alex has been with 2 men before.
Yeah.
So like, which is it? And then Henry's like in the closet and no one can know I'm gay. And then Harry's like, I've been fucking everyone. And Henry's like, I've been fucking at the boarding school. I've been coming out to this person. I've been coming out to that person. I've been coming out to the other person. Don't tell my dad, but I'm out to everyone.
Yeah.
What was going
Don't tell
on?
Grandpa. Oops.
I got really excited when it was like, when Henry was like, oh, you want to know what other celebrities I've fucked? And I was like, oh my God, give it to us. Tell us, please. And then it was just like the biggest edging of the film. I was like, what are we doing here? Why are you teasing me with this?
Yeah.
But no, the direct quote is, comforting his boyfriend, he says, I went to an English boarding school, dear. Trust me, you're in good hands. Now, I then got very excited because I thought what was going to happen was that we were going to see Prince Henry, who's been wet for the entire film, top Alex.
Yes.
And I was like, how progressive
Yeah.
to let the English character top the American.
Famously.
But no. Of course not. Of course America has to be the top.
I think what surprised me in this, because like, yeah, you both put in the notes this sort of idea like that the American has to be the top. Part of why I'm surprised that we saw who was top and who was bottom is like both of these archetype characters of people that don't exist. You don't really see either of them being portrayed as the bottom, like the dashing, witty English prince, and they're calling him a big old bottom.
Mm.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it coming. Not to bottom shame. Power to
Hey.
Henry.
Yeah.
Listen, Henry's on the fiber.
Yeah.
Henry found his empty Lucozade sports bottle. He gave himself a spritz because he was ready to go at any time.
Do you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of like, we'll like go through this step by step, and I was like, how step by step are we gonna go though? Because we've just sort of, I think they'd been in Paris. They were in Paris. They'd gone to Paris for dinner. Do you
And
remember
if
this?
And if this film does have like a sex education remit with the commentary around PrEP from Uma, they didn't take us enough step by step. I
mean,
don't think.
they strewed.
Where was the douching?
The-
I
that's the
wanted
thing.
to see the prince douche. Is
Also,
that so wrong?
I wanted him to take Alex through the step by step process of douching. That's what I
And that-
wanted.
I think that was a public service that the film should have fulfilled, to be honest. Also, like, why was it missionary? Why on earth was it missionary?
because
because
he's the Prince of England.
A pillow prince. Truly. I like that they just strewed around a couple of empty condom wrappers in the kind of post lovemaking. Lovemaking.
There was a promotion there.
Yeah.
Of safe
oh,
sex, but also
sorry,
Jorex specifically.
Clear branding deal there.
Code Alex10.
Yeah. Alex 10 on your first deal. Wow. Okay. I just keep scrolling on the shared doc and seeing we're gonna need some pizza, and I can't get over it.
my final quote of the film, which I think really sums up the whole energy, the whole vibe, was when they get caught by Uma's staffer.
Yes.
Zara.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm going downstairs and you'd better be dressed and in the lobby in 5 minutes so we can get your mother reelected. And as for you, little Lord Fuckleroy, you get your ass back to merry old England right now. I want you chewing on a goddamn crumpet by sunset. And if anyone sees you leave this hotel, I will Brexit your head from your body. You got me?
Go Zara.
Yeah. Was she the same person who had the line? Because I think we mentioned earlier, I got a few of the characters confused. Was this the same person who was like, you need to be there like the sun shines out of his ass and you've got a vitamin D deficiency?
Yes.
Yeah. Who wrote this woman? who wrote this woman?
You know what? Actually, Zara reads more like a gay man than either of the leads.
Yeah.
I could go for that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one more note on the fucking, if that's okay.
Oh, no, please.
So there was something where I think it was Alex that said, shall we make love?
Yes!
and first of all, like, given that we're leading into like tropes of like demure British people that don't exist, I really thought that they would give that line to Henry, but Henry rinses him for saying make love and he goes, oh, what, are we going to listen to Lana Del Rey? Girls, I lost my virginity to Lana Del Rey. That scene meant a lot to me.
I think it's really. May I ask a particular track or album?
Yeah, Radio from Born to
Whoa.
Die.
Oh, fucking gorgeous.
Now
yeah.
my life is sweet like cinnamon, like a fucking dream I'm living in. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
With just like a friend losing
Yeah.
your virginity. Not
Like-
okay. I've said it on the pod now. I hope my family aren't listening. Yeah, crazy. I thought, oh, even the Prince of England thinks that I'm basic.
Which is true because he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I mean, look, I'm not proud of the music.
I'm still reeling from that lore drop, I have to say.
Yeah.
I really didn't foresee that
should
for
we
you.
should we, Shirley? Did you have any music playing or just silence? Was it silent?
No, it was I was still pretending to A, be straight
Mhm.
and be like into rock music at this time. Because I was dating a lot of Seattle boys in bands. So it was the one of like 4 CDs that this boy had, which was The Doors.
Vintage.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you lost it to him. Like he was like, I made a mixtape
Oh
of
my
my
God.
tracks. And I was really like, Lee, I knew you were tragically straight and American, but I didn't realize it was this bad.
I actually wish it was that he was like, I'm going to put on something I think you're going to enjoy it. And it's just him. And then he fucked you to it. That would have been amazing. Mine's also equally tragic, which is that I was like,
Was it Bastille?
do you know what I wish it was?
Rock DJ, Angels.
Robert Williams, rock DJ. No, it was unfortunately because I was really cool and indie and like wore skater skirts and really thick denier tights. It was the album Room on Fire by The Strokes. Now, tempo-wise, providing really kind of only one rhythm.
And not the one you want to lose your
No.
virginity to, I would
truly,
say.
truly not. So, but it was, hey, didn't last long. Not even a full track. So, good.
Girls, I've never been more happy that I made love to Lana Del Rey. Whatever Henry says about it, I think I had the best virginity soundtrack out of the three
I'm
of
jealous.
us.
I'm
That's
genuinely
so
I'm
true.
jealous.
A female vocalist. Like,
Yeah,
like-
you know what I mean?
Supporting women.
Yeah, exactly. Awful. Yeah.
Something we've not really talked about in this film is the obsession with flipping Texas. And it's like, mama,
It's the democratic wet dream. It's
Yeah.
just, it's giving fan fiction.
yeah, you've already flipped the Prince of England.
Yeah.
You don't need to flip Texas as well. Alex, choose something.
Yeah, you've already made such a big win. Like, this is. But also, I love the idea that he's like, from a political standpoint, that he's like, I'm going to flip Texas by like going round and talking to people and just like making banners. Like, it's very high school girls' idea of what politics is, which is just like people putting badges on people outside of factories.
This film fully thinks Alex is like AOC.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need everyone to know that Alex is not AOC.
He's like a college student with, let's just say, one of the most heinous leather bracelets I've ever seen.
But he is really hot, and I think people do vote for that.
That's
He
so
was
true.
hot.
We
That
vote
is
with
so
we
true.
often vote with our eyes. Not particularly in America
Not in
right
this
now.
country.
And also not. Yeah, but that's because it's not really. There's not
We don't
in-
have hot politicians.
We don't have hot politicians in like high positions.
Yeah.
Just
we definitely
old,
have some hot
weird
ones.
people. But there are some hot politicians.
Remember that like 2 weeks in lockdown when everyone thought Rishi Sunak was hot?
No.
That was crazy.
What?
I think it's I think it's because Boris Johnson
Was
it
so
looks
buttered.
Standing next to Boris Johnson.
he looks like meat dressed up.
Listen, I like my men short and a bit gay and like working in finance, but even I do not fancy Rishi Sunak.
I think it's because everyone was like, "Oh, he looks like someone's like dad or uncle." Like that feels safer,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And then I think everyone realized that he was a little pocket guy,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Oh, okay, well, you know what?
Mm.
Good for him." And then obviously he was a horrible monster, and we were like, "Oh, there it is."
Yeah. Yeah.
We did not yet know. But what I will say is that Fee and I had the joy a couple of years ago. I'd like to just talk about the scene where Alex flies to England again, just burning up the fossil fuels.
For the man that he met at a climate convention. Sorry.
No, but it's really important because
So
I hadn't
real.
made that
It's so
connection.
real. It's so real.
Oh,
To get Henry back, and they kind of have this, I think what's supposed to be like a hot argument into being back together scene before they go to the museum. Me and Fee had the joy a couple of years ago of watching a Lifetime film depiction of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's
like love
courtship.
love courtship, yeah.
and a line that has lived on with me and Fee forever. It was around the time that they got married, and there was kind of, you know, a lot of fanfare around a fan fiction around
Yeah.
like, what their relationship had been prior to getting married. And there was an immortal line from the character of Meghan Markle in this kind of fictionalized version of their courtship, where she turned around to Prince Harry and she said, "My towering ivory dude." And this whole scene for me was really giving my towering ivory dude.
Yeah, and I think the quote that I'll be taking from this one is from Henry, which is, "My life is the crown and yours is politics, and I will not swap one prison for another."
I was so angry at Henry in this moment because, okay, this is when I was like, yeah, he's just a man, because your beef is around like you not wanting to come out, and like this is around your shame that you need to combat. But he got in an argument and he was like, "And do you know what it is? Like your job, my job, like blah blah blah." And I was like, "You're deflecting. This isn't even why you ran away from him or why you're arguing, but you're just like throwing it in his face."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it was
Miss Girl.
Yeah.
please own your own shame and don't make it about somebody else.
Then they get back together. Then they break into the V&A
Mm-hmm.
and kiss, and they again, my gag reflex kicked in when they were slow dancing in the V&A at night to the song "Can't Help Falling in Love with You." That like literally felt like I would never feel arousal again at that moment.
We should arrest Casey for war crimes. The things that they put us through in this film.
But the film culminates with basically everyone being sad because, well, the two boys being sad because they can't be together, and then everyone going, "Do you know what? Let's let these kids be in love."
Well, they get outed as well.
Well, yeah, obviously Miguel outs them,
yeah.
which is 'cause-
Famously the outing.
and he publishes all of their emails together. How he's accessed these, I don't know.
also, like, outing is so 90s.
Yeah,
Are people still
2023.
being outed in
Like-
2025?
Maybe politicians and royal family. Like, I guess I can kind of
Yeah.
see it, but I did feel like it was just too tropey.
Yeah.
Like,
It
from the
was-
start of the film, you knew that was going to
It
happen.
was too tropey, and I feel like it's made in 2023, and they're saying it's set now, which means that there should have been some narrative in the media when the kind of outing happened, that people were like, "This." There should have been a narrative saying this is an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, and there
It was the
some
fact
of
that suddenly all media globally was like, "Oh my god!" Like gasp. These two boys are gay.
It was giving Stephen from Boyzone, and I just don't know that it needed
Yeah.
to.
Very, very that. And also, then Alex does this speech, and this was the second moment. So the first one was when they were fucking, and we saw who topped and who bottomed. Alex in his speech kept talking about queer people this, queer lives that. And I was like, the whole tone of this film felt gay, not queer. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think there is such a thing as gay, not queer, of like two men are in love and they're very happy. And like, it's gorgeous. And it's not that you're any less gay or anything like that. But it's not like queer in that sort of political, social lens. And I know that the film like was politics adjacent, if we can call it that. But like, I don't know. I was just like, I can't picture Henry saying the word queer.
We've also not seen either of you interact with a single queer person besides each other. And I think that's what makes it feel gay, not queer, is it's like
1,000.
You don't seem to be in any way, either of you, integrated into any kind of queer spaces or queer communities.
And like being like, if this is going to happen and like we're going to stand up and be with each other, it's because we want to give voice to this amazing community that's been like part of us finding who we are. It's like that, it's not part of it. And I also feel like in the immortal coming out scene between Alex and Uma Thurman, when he's like, I'm bisexual, and she's like, the B in LGBT isn't a silent letter.
Oh my God.
But they just read so many leaflets when they wrote this book.
Truly. It's like, then he never uses the word bisexual ever again.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know. There was something in that where it was like, okay, so we're like standing up and being like, oh, cool. We have like a gay character and we have a bisexual character and they've fallen in love. And like, that's a lovely narrative. But then he's like, oh, I don't know. I just feel like...
Yeah, let's explore Alex's sexuality. We've seen nothing of his attraction to women. Do we know if he fucks with the dolls? I feel like that should have been clarified for the viewer.
Absolutely.
Does Alex fuck with the dolls? I'm not asking for myself. I'm just saying, like, you know, as a woman of the world, I just think, like, in this climate today, this film had a duty.
Absolutely. A
to
duty
clarify, does Alex fuck with the dolls? Like, we need to know.
Do either of them?
Where were the transsexuals in this film?
Yeah.
Where were the dolls?
No,
Oh, actually, they did reference trans people at one point when she was doing her speech about like democracy matters.
Yes.
Because of, and I think she maybe said like the mechanic in Detroit or
and then she was like
the transgender teenager. Yeah.
Thanks, Uma.
That was the author being like, who at the time was a straight woman, obviously not anymore, was like, oh, I'm already like stealing the whole gay thing and profiting off that. I should probably mention the whole community. Just like, we'll throw in a line about the trannies at the end.
Just toss that in towards the end in a big speech, you know?
Yeah. I do just, before we get into the quick fires, there are two things that I simply must mention. Again, from Zara, saying that the first son is in my office mooing over the prince like a cow in labor. Truly immortal. Truly immortal for me. And then also from Stephen Fry, served the most in this film of anybody. Stephen Fry as the king said, Kensington Palace immediately and take the American with you. I just love to see a kind of like an American taken down a peg because he's the first son. He's a big deal. But to the king, he's just the American.
I would like to live in a world where Stephen Fry arrived on set, having not really understood why he was there, but been like, gay film, here for it, whatever, here for my day rate. Picked up the script and went, oh, I shan't be saying any of that. And then just absolutely riffed each of his lines.
It was kind of giving that vibe.
He says, Mr. Claremont Diaz, let me disabuse you of the idea that your contribution to this conversation is in any way welcome. You are party to this problem, not to its solution.
I found that so fierce. There's something that Stephen Fry does where he shows up in gay media, in like, if it's a series, in the final episode of the series, or in a film, in like the final 10 minutes of a film, and plays like a slightly douchey person. But like, he did this in, I want to say either, and these are two very different pieces of media. Maybe it was both. Either It's a Sin, ?
I have It's a Sin in my brain. Yeah.
And also, I want to say Clapham Junction, but I could be making, no, maybe it was It's a Sin.
He's in It's a Sin because I think he plays a closeted politician.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, darling,
of.
like, I'm married. Like, and who's got like, he's obsessed with Margaret Thatcher.
Yes, I do remember this. Yeah. What like Stephen Fry is typecast.
Yeah. As
not as a member of the royal family, but just as like a slightly like homophobic-ish guy that they brought in to make the film sell more.
Yeah.
Totally.
He knows that he's like a little cameo that's there to get bumps on seats.
Yeah.
But did any of us know that, like, if this was like to get people to watch, did any of us actually know that Stephen Fry was going to be in Red, White, and Royal Blue? Because I didn't.
No.
I don't think he's putting it out there. Do you know what I mean?
He's not leading with it.
He's not leading with it on his press tour.
He wanted a new bathroom. Do you know what I mean?
that
He
is
wanted a new
exactly what this
bathroom.
is.
Yeah.
That was the whole vibe. He was like, I don't know, I've not done QI in a while. I need a new bathroom.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll
We'll do it.
I'll jump in with the boys.
I've got one more thing to
Yes.
say on this, right? As they were ending, Beatrice is talking because
Your
the
head
boys
is
don't.
literally in your hands right now.
Yeah. So the boys don't have their phones because, like, oh, you can't text each other. But then obviously they're like, oh, well, I'll just fly anyway. Oh, because we can. And then Beatrice is reading out, like, because they're worried, like, that him being gay is going to ruin the royal family. Again, it would save them. But this is what gives me. Let me get the line out because I'm not summarizing this. Beatrice reads off her phone. Crowds are forming in Manchester, Sheffield, Birmingham, Cardiff, Edinburgh, and Liverpool. Now, let me tell you, I'm shifting in my seat because I have a lot to say about this. If there are 6 cities in the UK where people are going to get out there and advocate for a member of the royal family, I say this to you as a Northwest girly. The people of Liverpool are not in the streets being like, protect our gay prince. No one in Liverpool is vouching for the royal family. No one in Manchester is vouching for the royal family. No one in Sheffield is vouching for the royal family. I've lived in all 3 of these cities. They're not giving pro-monarchy. They're certainly not giving, oh, protect the little gay prince. No.
They're certainly not leaving their houses and take
in droves with our retro pride flag, which actually is quite impressive because they must be real allies because they don't sell the retro pride flags anymore, just the ones with the stripes. So are we to believe that everyone in Liverpool is like a gay ally and B pro-monarchy? I'm like, this is so stupid. They would have called him a slur.
Yeah, of all the kind of like withholding of disbelief that happened in this film, that was the greatest.
That was actually my final straw. I was like, I'm
think-
glad this is about to end.
I think what's happened here is that Casey has simply Googled
Cities
biggest
in the UK.
British cities besides London.
Because you could, there are places, if she had said, if Beatrice had said, oh, crowds are forming in Oxford, in Wiltshire,
In Leamington Spa.
yeah, in Buckinghamshire.
Shout out Leamington Spa.
Yeah, in Hampshire. I would have been like, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
In York.
Yes, exactly that.
yeah.
But I meant to,
No.
Mama, let's fly Casey out to Liverpool. Let me show you where I'm from. Let me show you what you're gonna see. We'll take you to Manchester. We'll take you down Market Street, Casey. And is this what you
Renee
think?
Zellweger truly worked in a London publishing house so that she could embody Bridget Jones. And I think
That's fun movie trivia.
she
Really?
did. She did, yes. Maybe Casey could have spent a little bit more time in the UK.
Do a gap year. I don't know. If
Yeah.
you're gonna do all this, do a gap year.
Get on the
first.
train.
Because
You know what I mean?
I thought Renee, so one of my favorite films is Down with Love, on the topic of like knowingly bad movies. Down with Love, one of my absolute all-time favorite films. I thought that Renee was an English woman putting on an American accent in that film.
Her English accent in Bridget Jones's Diary is flawless.
Yeah, I lived for years assuming she was a British woman.
Her English accent's better than an American one. And
Yeah.
she's American.
We simply must get into the quick fire.
Let's do it.
Sorry,
let's do
yes.
it.
Best fashion, I think for me, I'm gonna give it to the Prime Minister's sparkly gown, the British Prime Minister's
Sharon
sparkly
D. Clark.
gown. Yeah.
Lovely cameo from her, yeah.
And I think Percy, who clearly was a much bigger character in the book, Henry's friend, where they had known each other or were friends from or what their relationship even was. I don't know that Percy spoke in the course of the
Zero
film.
character development. He asked
But-
out Nora.
He served some looks.
Oh my God, served some
Yeah.
delightful looks, but nothing to say, not a single word leaving his mouth.
Dare I say, person of colour casted as friend of the royal family with no discernible character traits, just to show oh no, but this prince is woke. Sorry.
tough.
Little
It was
box
tough.
ticked there, I feel.
Yeah,
on the old
let
list.
them have one conversation if we're gonna
Let
do
us know one
some-
thing about him.
Yeah, please.
What's one defining feature of his character? Other than his name is Percy, because that's all I know.
And he has the hots for Nora.
I'm proposing in this film worst fashion because I hated everything everyone wore. Specifically, I hated Alex's leather jacket because it's not 2005, and I didn't feel like he was wearing it in a fun got this in a vintage store way.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the plaited leather bracelet was correct, but I also hated it.
Mm-hmm.
like the long leather wrapped around.
Yeah.
I hated the key on the chain.
Mm.
Hated that. Just a big, shiny Yale lock key on like a really thin chain. Awful. However, I did love the little gold signet ring. I think like I was into that.
I think worst fashion, I would also have to go with the royal wedding dress in the opening credits of the film.
Yeah.
From ASOS Bridal.
Quite literally, keep the tag on, return it next day.
Yeah. I did 3 because I don't have any that I'm super passionate about. So there was press interviews at the start when they'd fallen out and they were having to pretend to be friends. And there was 3 female journalists, 2 male journalists. All the girlies looked great, but one had like brown sort of satiny 2-piece. She looked really good. Second place, I'm switching it up to interiors. Did Alex have all the Kylie pillowcases in the White House?
Such a good spot. Ciara, this is why you're guesting on this episode, to spot the Orla Kylie sheets. Wow.
Like, if I ever feel imposter syndrome about doing like, because we're doing, what we're doing, it'll have happened by the time this episode comes out, but we're doing the, is it the London Irish Collective?
Yes. Yeah.
And I've always been a bit like, I don't know if I should really do these Irish gigs because I have this accent. I've grown up here most of my life, blah, blah, blah. But actually, if I'm watching a film and I went...
called Quiva.
Yeah.
You have a sister called Quiva. You can do an Irish gig.
I can spot the Orla Kylie bedding in a film. I think I've earned my place here. And then my top one was Alex, every time he wore a suit, was it fashion? No, but did I want to fuck him? Absolutely. Alex was so hot. And I feel like if there's one thing to take away from this episode, other than the fact that the film's terrible, it's that Alex was really, really hot to me. And I know that I'm basic, sorry.
No judgment. We did have queerest moment that never intended to be queer, but
I think we need to find the straightest moment that never intended to be straight.
That's
because
correct.
All of this was meant to be queer and wasn't queer. The whole film was straightest moment that didn't intend to be straight. Although I will say, it's good to see you sober. That was a drag queen read. That was, and also, who doesn't love a little bit of Mozart? Actually, it's Schubert, darling. That was, yeah. So Henry, as much as he was like the worst character ever, he did have a couple of like good lines.
Some good reads.
But again, to your point, Ciara, like you're trying to tell me that you're successfully closeted right now?
Yeah.
But no one's clocked you.
Yeah, no, not.
I think the straightest moment that never meant to be straight was right at the end of the film where they get in the sports car and they like drive to Alex's like childhood home and like walk in it together.
Bikes.
No, biking. Yeah, they were biking.
Bikes.
They were like riding like bicycles down the street.
It's like, why are we
No Secret
ending
Service.
this film in like Stranger Things? I'm so confused. Why is it the 1980s?
Yeah.
Why are we on bicycles?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that happily ever after. I was like, that's bullshit for me.
Can I ask a question to our American representative in Lee Douglas? So something that I noticed was when Alex gets back to England because they have to pretend to be friends for the press tour, Henry like drives in this like vintage car, like spinning around. And all it reminded me of was, I feel like in Wild Child, that's what the male love interest, he's also driving around this retro car. I was like, is the American view of English men, A, that they're like posh, white and like aloof,
yes,
but B, that they are driving around in these vintage cars? Is this like a thing that they think happens?
I think what's happened is the American public has seen too many British period dramas, and therefore their view of Britain is still like the Blitz.
They don't
Do you
understand,
know what I
like,
mean?
you can get a BMW if you
Like-
want.
Yeah, but also just like most like English lads are out there snagging American women and they're like, name is Jack. And they like drive a Renault Clio.
But in
Yeah.
her
You know what I mean?
mind, that American girlie is dating like an RAF pilot in World War II who's like, righty-ho, dear. Like, that's who she thinks
that's the
she's
fantasy.
dating. That's the fantasy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we brought this up.
My man, I feel like a man for this film, which, Ciara, is the moment for you that most exuded masculinity. My man, it's unequivocal for me in this film, which is, I went to an English boarding school. Trust me, you're in good hands. That was absolutely my man, I feel like a man moment.
I found it tough on this one because I was like, because normally like our man, I feel like a man is just like the line that you're like, God, I wish I was just like a bloke saying that. I just feel amazing because the patriarchy built this world for me. I found it quite difficult. So I went for The King, Stephen Fry's let me disabuse you of the idea that your contribution to this conversation is in any way welcome. You're party to the problem, not to its solution, which I actually think is phenomenal. And I think I will take your party to this problem, but not part of the solution into real life now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. She sewed with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what my man I feel like a man is. I think I'd have to rewatch to get a good one, but I feel like just the general aura of, what was the character who was the aide at the White House that had all of the gay man sort of lines?
Zara.
Everything that Zara said was just so like bossy and like, do you know what I mean? She was such a top.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yes, it can be your man. I feel like a top, sir.
Yeah.
Just everything like the sun shines out of his ass, and you better act like that because you've got a vitamin D deficiency. Little Lord Fuckleroy, like all of these lines. She was just and
then just pulling a phone out of her desk and like opening it and turning it on and ringing Henry's aide,
who she's fucking.
Who she's like fucking just like on the down low when she wants to.
Now this
and being
actually,
like, you're going to do this thing for me.
I've written this down because this line was actually my proudest to be an American moment of the film. So I'm just going to give you Zara's line here. Oh my God, I just have to do everything around here. Sean Travastova. This is Zara Bankston. Listen, I know we only said we'd use these phones in an emergency. Well, welcome to that emergency. I've got the first son in my office mooing over the prince like a cow in labor, and I'm not going to get any work done until you put these two lovesick homosexuals on the phone with one another. I don't care if any of those wrinkled white men at Buckingham Palace have to say about it. I want you to march your skinny, perfect ass over to the prince, hand him your phone, or so help me God, you will never see me naked again.
She may not be a man, but she was the man.
She was the man.
Thank you. Yeah, truly.
What a line.
I mean, I don't think I really had a moment that made me proudest to be American. I think, unfortunately, a large portion of the lines for me were either would-be zingers that didn't quite zing, or like so earnest I felt physically sick. So I just think maybe just like Zara is the queen of the film here.
Yeah.
And that's just how we end this.
You don't want to do we should order some pizza, that'd make you feel proud to be American. Oh, are you a bottom? Do you want some prep? I feel like those would, if that was my country leader, I'd be pretty happy.
Oh, I mean,
where even is Uma's moment?
Yeah, we're gonna need some pizza. And then just like the hand on the knee with, the B in LGBT is not a silent letter. And just like her just like stroking his hair. Awful.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts on this masterpiece before we go, Ciara?
You might be shocked because I've been really coy about it until now, but I actually thought this film was terrible. And I feel like I've really tried to hold back on that. I think I've been very respectful to Casey and their work and who they are as an author and a filmmaker. This film was so bad. I don't know if it was bad enough that it's going to be my favorite films of like, it was so bad it was good. I will say like, I got into it. I didn't feel emotionally invested in them. I think we and they were really lucky that Alex was hot because that really was like what kept me watching the film, I'll be honest. So if there's any first sons out there that are bisexual and gorgeous, I'm looking.
Lee, any thoughts?
No, I look forward to attending the nuptials of Ciara and Donald Trump Jr.
Me and Big Baron.
Oh, incredible.
And what about you? Any closing thoughts?
I think that, there's 2 hours of really like tightly written dialogue in there. There's 2 hours of amazing sets and scenery. And really what has stayed with me about this film, really the moment that has crystallized itself in my brain that I'll never forget is Alex's dad when he's hosting them on a kind of like lads weekend, preparing omelets for everyone.
Yes.
And he's chopping a pepper in a way that no one's ever fucking chopped vegetables in my life. He's like doing it really fast, but like he's not really hitting the vegetable. And it was just, it just threw me back to when Kendall was cutting that cucumber.
yes.
And that's just all I remember from the film.
That actor really wanted to show off his knife skills
And
that
it
day, and he didn't.
Did not play.
Girls, can I throw a late entrant in terms of lines of the film?
Yeah.
From Alex's dad, who was not like a major character,
No.
but was there at points. I can't remember the exact wording, but one of you might have it. I don't know. Basically, Alex is like kind of coming out to his dad, who kind of already knows, and Alex is like, "Oh, I just didn't know if you were going to do the whole Catholic thing," and then I'm just not going to give this line justice. I'm not going to give this line justice. But he's like, give your old man some credit. Like and he says something about
he's like I'm the creator of like gender neutral bathrooms.
Yes.
What was it?
Yes,
I think it was in Louisiana or so. No, not Louisiana.
Texas?
It was
No.
I don't think it was Texas. I feel
think
like
I
it was
did- I think I-
Tennessee, maybe.
There we go.
Please have a little more faith in the old man. You are, after all, talking to the patron saint of gender neutral bathrooms in Austin, you little shit.
The patron saint of gender neutral bathrooms in Austin. That's what I want to be.
Yeah.
Canonize me. Make me.
If I'm going to be a saint, this is what I'm going to be the saint of.
You know what, Ciara? I think if anyone in my life was going to be canonized, I see it for you.
Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Maybe by the gays. Like, the gays should have an equivalent of sainthood.
Yeah.
I think that would be my chance.
Yeah.
I don't think the church is going to be like, this one. In she goes.
Gorgeous. Well, Ciara, where can our dear listeners find you on the internet, etc.?
Of course, it is Ciara O Comedy, Ciara Ciara O Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. On Instagram, I have like a link tree, so I post all my gigs that are coming up. In terms of when this comes out, I might have a gig coming up in London if you're about, and I'm doing Edinburgh Fringe as well, so keep an eye out for that. I also have a little poddy poo. What's her name? I can't tell you because her name was Thin and Thinner. It's a gorgeous podcast. We have come under fire for promoting eating disorders. So she's going through a rebrand. It's okay. It's like, I was trying to think of a brand that's had to change their name for being problematic, but everything's very local.
Kimono to Skims.
It was called Kimono.
Yeah.
That's
kind of fierce kind of works.
Yeah.
Like, it has her name in it. Yeah, so we're going in our Skims rebrand. Hopefully we will have the same branding as Skims, but it's with another comedian, Sophie Garrard.
Yes, who's a previous guest on the pod, friend of the pod. Yeah.
Yes, and it's just us talking about our favourite problematic women in sort of history, in media and pop culture. So it's a gorgeous podcast. Have a listen. But yeah, other than that, Instagram, Ciara Comedy feels like the main place.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ciara.
Thank you for having me. I've had such a gorgeous time.
Oh, it's been so much more fun than watching the film was.
Speaking of terrible films, we will be back next week with another. We're really indulging ourselves now with another movie episode on Mandy Moore's 2004 classic, Chasing Liberty.
It's not one to be missed, is all I'll say. Lee, this has been a pleasure.
I'll see you next week.
I'll see you next week. And I mean, folks know where to find us, but if you aren't aware, where can people get our info?
We're Queer Gals Watch, wherever you get your socials. You can pop us an email, queergalswatch@gmail.com. Also, we're very appreciative of everyone who supports the podcast on Patreon. That's why we're able to be in this gorgeous studio today. So please do check out our Patreon.
It's a lot of fun.
It's also like gorgeous vibes. Everyone on the Patreon is just a gorge human.
Yeah. Friends.
Friends.
Okay, I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.